Hi there, welcome to KMB Development's video on how to save energy and money on new builds and self-builds. And we're going to be covering today MVHR systems and underfloor heating. My name's Karen, so for those of you that are new to the channel today, let's get started with the video. Okay then, so MVHR systems then, what we mean by that is mechanical ventilation heat recovery. So a system that's been around for a little while now, especially with new builds and self-builds. A lot of people have tended to use this type of system if they're looking for a better air quality within their building. However, the homes that were obviously built back in the sort of 1960s were losing heat very quickly through the building because they were so badly built and the insulation values were very low. So therefore it was not classed as an efficient home in terms of the insulation and the heat loss that was incurred through these types of homes. Therefore, that's very much changed now because the air tightness in buildings is very different now because we all have to meet a standard building regulation. So, but obviously what comes with that, with the air tightness in the house, is we can have side effects called volatile organic compounds. So these are the things called VOCs. So what I mean by that is not only is it radon gas that may be apparent in a building, but also things such as your internal furnishings, things like your curtains, your carpets, the chipboard that's used within the property, can all produce these compounds that are released back into the air and therefore can affect the way that the air quality of the building. So approximately 30% of homes will be affected by this, particularly ones that are retrofitted. So not so much the new build properties, because the new build properties will be having a new membrane put down in the floor level to stop these compounds from coming in. But yeah, retrofitting does tend to create these VOCs. So you need to be aware of things like this. So this is where the MVHR system comes into its own, because it will be giving you a better air quality by the system that is being used, which I will explain a bit later on. So then moving on, mould and mildew is another area where the MVHR system comes into its own, and it does help to reduce this type of thing. Also, carbon dioxide. There is a carbon dioxide monitor within the MVHR system as well, which is also very good to have. Okay, so what basically is the MVHR system? It's fresh air coming in from a fan. So there's two fans within the system. So one fan is taking out the old air, and the other fan is bringing in fresh air. And this fresh air that's coming into the building is coming in at about approximately 17 degrees. So what this means is that if we look at the average home's internal heat within the building internally, if we say it's sort of 21 degrees, we're looking at approximately a 4-degree uplift. So what that means is there's the air from the outside is not coming in at a lot colder than the air temperature that is on the inside. So what this means then is the recycling is 95% of the heat. So it's reducing your heating bills by about a third. So you can see there that could be saving you a significant amount of money. So moving on then, the whole house can have an air change every couple of hours. That is pretty standard with an MVHR system. So you've got really good quality air coming in every couple of hours. So for instance, for people with allergies, asthma, that type of thing, it's a really good system to keep that air quality of to the highest of the highest levels. So also it does, like I said before, get rid of mold and mildew in bathroom areas, anywhere where there's high moisture content, showering. Sometimes in kitchens you can get mold and mildew if the temperature, if the condensation is quite high. Also, the noise levels for the system are extremely low, and in some instances there's no noise whatsoever. So despite what you may have read or heard on the news, etc., then there is hardly any noise with these types of things. So they're very, very good for that. Also, if you're working towards a certified passive house, for instance, and you're getting full certification and it needs to be signed off, then this system does work to Part F building regs. So say if you're just doing a low energy home, then you won't be asked to provide these certifications. But if you are going for full certification, then Part F building regs definitely meets this system. Okay, so what's happened then recently is that the MVHR system has moved on, and what we can look at now is we can have an MVHR system with a heat pump attached to it. So what this can mean is that you don't necessarily need a second source of heating. So, your standard combination boilers, etc. With this type of system, you don't necessarily need to have that. You can run the MVHR system just like your main source of heating. And the way this works then is it's got a heat exchanger and 2 fans and also a micro heat pump. So this is what's added to the existing MVHR system to give you that extra heat. So again, as I've stated on my slides here, it adds more heat. Alongside that, you can also add in heated ceiling terminals. So for some rooms, for instance, you may want that extra bit of heat. Let's say you've got an annex, or you've got an outside space, or an extension that you want to heat and keep warm, and you want the heat to be a little bit higher than in normal areas. So you could have these heated ceiling terminals put in, and that would give you that extra heat that you needed. Also, it produces 300 litres tank of water with the micro heat pump as well on top of it. So the micro heat pump does also service the underfloor heating as well. So I think you get about 1,000 litres of hot water per day with this system. Okay, so just bear with me. And also accepts heat from solar thermals as well. So it is a really, really good system. Okay then, so moving on then to the benefits of the MVHR system. You've got fresh filtered air coming in, as I say, every couple of hours, and this is going to really help with against allergies and any other asthmas or any other respiratory allergies that you may be getting. It's very energy efficient, so it has a COP rating. So basically what the COP rating means is how much energy you put in to what you get out. So this type of system, you're looking at about a 1 kilowatt amount of energy that you put in, and you will get a 3 kilowatt energy out. So from that point of view, it's extremely efficient. So you're not using a huge amount of energy to produce something at the end. So domestic hot water then as well. So you're looking at about 1,000 litres per day, which is a 4.3 COP. So again, very good output there based on what you have to put what you've put in. The ducting that you need for the MVHR system is antibacterial as well. So again, very good for people with lots of allergies. It's all going to be antibacterial, so it's very, very good in that respect. You have controllers with the system as well, so you are able to individually suit things to your own needs. It also has a 24/7 timer ceiling terminal controllers. So again, that is down to you to put it at the required temperature that you're looking for. Also has carbon dioxide sensors as well. So again, all these types of sensors and terminals are there for your own convenience to switch to whatever you want. So air in and out in the roof. So yes, so all the system can be put up into your roof area. So it's out of the way, it's nice and clean and tidy. And also then we do recommend that fabric first. You always look at the fabric of your building first before you would have any of these types of systems. So what we mean by that is, wrap your house in a duvet, have some really good insulation, make sure you spend your time and energy initially when you're doing your research stage to really make sure that you have good windows and doors, whether you want triple glazing or double glazing. It will pay off. It may be a little bit more expensive than you were originally going to spend, but I can absolutely assure you that you will get your money back over time. In my own property, I've got triple glazing. From an acoustic point of view and also a warmth point of view, I'm glad we went for it. Okay, it was a little bit more expensive initially, but it's paid us back dividends going forward. So yeah, really do think about fabric first. Really, really important. I think most of the timber framers and will all tell you fabric first. Make sure that you wrap that building with the best quality insulation, windows, doors that you can possibly afford within your budget. Okay then, so moving on, plan as early as possible what you are going to be doing from a renewables point of view. So if you are going to be putting in an MVHR system, then design that system early on. Get that order in early, get that design in early. Make sure you're using engineered joists, the web joist with the metal in between in the middle. The reason for this is it's going to be so much easier for the ducting. Your ducting runs along the joists are going to be so much easier if you've got those types of joists. They will be more expensive, but again, long run, you have to think about the time that it's going to be taking. Obviously, if you have solid joists, then all your trades are going to be drilling out holes to try and get the ducting. It's going to take forever. So always make sure you have engineered joists. Again, fabric first. Make sure that building is just tea cosy effect. Make sure it's got the tea cosy on it, and make sure that everything is as well insulated as you possibly can. Okay. So that's the end of the MVHR system. What we're going to be doing now is moving on to underfloor heating. So underfloor heating then, two main types for sourcing this underfloor heating is you can do air source heating or you can do ground source. Air source heating comes out more competitively in terms of the initial outlay. Ground source heat pumps will be more expensive. There's two types to this. You can be looking at a borehole in the garden. And if you have a borehole, that more than likely you've got probably a garden that's got lots of trees in it and got lots of roots. So therefore what we call the conventional system, where you have the pipes going into the garden underneath the lawn, if you have lots of roots systems that are from the trees in your garden, then you wouldn't be able to have this type of system. Okay, so the new build clip track, this is most popular in new builds, works best with setback control. So what we mean by that is each area will have a time controller on it. So you can set the controller to be zoned in the various different zones within the building, and you will have different temperatures within each zone if you wanted to. It's tried and tested, and it's very cost effective. It has been around for a very long time. Installation considerations, always make sure that you've got that, installation. Always make sure that you've considered everything with regard to that installation. So make sure, is it really the wet system you want in terms of underfloor heating, or is it the electric? Personally, I've got a mixture of both in my property, and it works really well. You don't have to use the electric underfloor heating if you don't want it. It can be a bit more expensive. And we've got wet underfloor heating downstairs, which works extremely well. It's all fitted at first fix stage, so you get the dirty jobs out of the way quickly. And also drying times, and what we mean by that is 9 times out of 10 you'll get a liquid screed that will be put down over underfloor heating. Much better system in terms of the heat that you will be getting out of the system is better with underfloor heating, because you've got less likely to have air pockets within the system. So you are not heating air, you're heating the actual pipe itself and the actual concrete floor rather than an air bubble. Okay, so yes, you can do underfloor heating on a first floor level, despite probably what you've read. The clipper plate system is a good system to use for suspended timber floors. There's no height build-up within the floor, and it's ideal for timber frames. And the medium output is about 70 watts per metre squared, which is pretty good, to be honest. So also retrofitting as well. So you don't have to have a new build to have underfloor heating. You can retrofit it on existing floors. There's about 15 mil directly over an original floor, so that's the height build-up. Okay, so it is quite minimal. So let's say if you've got a concrete floor upstairs, and then you've got a 15 mil uptake on that to retrofit the underfloor heating, and that would then, it's a minimal impact to the overall height of the room. So despite what a lot you've probably read before, it is extremely possible to do it. I've seen it so many times, and it looks very, very nice, and you wouldn't hardly notice the impact. So solid concrete floors, it can go over the top of a solid concrete floor, absolutely fine. And as I've said previously, the gypsum boards are about 15 mil in height, so it is quite minimal. There's not a lot of build-up. However, you can look at a 22 millimetre height build-up on a floor as well. So 15 is the minimum and 22 is the maximum. Okay, so and you can use it in a heat pump as well. Okay, so floor coverings then, with underfloor heating. You can use underfloor heating on a carpet. Despite what you've probably read, it is possible, and it does work really well. There is a particular type of underlay that we do use, so you just need to talk to your carpet manufacturer and basically ask them, just tell them that it's for underfloor heating, and they give you a specific underlay. Natural stone flooring is one of the best conductors of heat for underfloor heating, so I would recommend, if you are looking to do a hard floor, natural stone. If that is within the budget, then it's an extremely good conductor of heat. So if you've got a lot of solar gain at the back of the property, and during the summer or the winter sun, it comes in through the solar gain at the back. It will hit the floor, retain that heat into the floor, and then it releases it at night. So you do get the best effect from a natural stone floor. So wood, engineered wood, then yes, definitely you can do underfloor heating on engineered wood, and also laminate flooring. The reason why you can use it is because underfloor heating comes in at a much lower temperature than what it would do on a standard boiler and radiators. So you're looking at around sort of 30 degrees, 35, around there. When a conventional radiator is operating around sort of 50 degrees, something like that. So it's much, much hotter. So you couldn't use some of these types of floor coverings with that level of heat from a conventional boiler. But you can definitely use it with underfloor heating. Because obviously with an engineered wood floor, sometimes too much heat underneath it can pull the boards apart, so we wouldn't recommend that, but definitely you can use it with underfloor heating. Okay, well that's the end of the video now, so I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you've managed to get something out of it for yourselves, and I hope that it's practically made a difference for you. If you have enjoyed the video, I'd be really grateful if you could press that subscribe button. It does help me to bring more videos to you. We are actually at the moment putting together some more videos around sort of new build, self-build. I mean, we are self-builders ourselves, so we are experienced within this industry. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to the video, and we look forward to speaking to you again. Thank you.